I do want to start here, though, in chronological order. We're going to start off with the Gator Bowl, number 22. Clemson is a 5-point favorite against Kentucky. This game carries an over-under of 45.5 points, and it kicks off Friday afternoon at 12 p.m. noon Eastern on ESPN. They play this one at TIAA Bank Field. Is that still the name of it? I feel like it's undergone different names here. But anyway, where the Jaguars play in Jacksonville, Florida. Clemson, they're down a lot of pieces defensively. 3 players in their secondary aren't going to play. They're also without their linebacker, Jeremiah Trotter. However, Barrett Carter, who I think is probably their best defender on there, is going to play. And it looks like Tyler Davis will play at least a little bit. Barrett Carter's coming back next year. Tyler Davis is going to the NFL. I think Davis is probably going to be on a snap count considering he declared for the draft and he's had a lot of injury issues over the course of his career. On the other side, though, Kentucky, complete opposite. They're only down their edge rusher, Keaton Wade. All their other starters will play, and that does include running back Ray Davis, which is a real big boost for that Wildcats offense. I was really disappointed by that unit, though, this year. I thought that bringing back Liam Cohen was going to be a really big boost for them, and, seeing how Will Levis is playing at times in the NFL kind of leads me to believe it was more the combination, the marriage of Will Levis and Liam Cohen. But the Wildcats just not have rebounded offensively like I thought they would. Look, they're last in plays per game right now. And that doesn't always have to do with just pace, but a lot to do with pace. Too many 3-and-outs. They're 98th in success rate. They've given the ball away 6 times in their last 3 games. And although Clemson's defense is stripped down a bit, I don't think Kentucky's passing game is really its strength on offense, and those secondary absences won't matter as much. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to matter, but just as much as they could. I know that the lines moved quite a bit away from them. Opening mark at -9. Those opt-outs kind of knocked it down a peg. And it's still trending to move away. You can find Clemson -4.5. I think that's the side I take here. They're just a little bit more talented. I don't have a ton of faith in Kentucky's offense.
Yeah, line movement in bowl season, Brett. Good luck. Like you said, it's wild out there, as you put it. After losing at NC State in Week 9, Clemson was 4-4. 2-4 in ACC play, and had 2.6 fewer wins than my preseason realistic expectations projected through that point in the season, making the Tigers my number 4 biggest underachievers at that moment in time. Clemson also ranked a season worst number 20 in my power ratings, having fallen more than a touchdown since the preseason. On the bright side, the defense played at a top 10 level for most of the year, and if you listen to Dabo after the Notre Dame win and you, quote, bought all the Clemson stock you could, you'd be happy with the returns down the stretch, as Clemson did win their final 4 games, including on the road at rival South Carolina to end the season in a revenge game, a game that in 2022 maybe kept Clemson out of the playoff. Overall, the season was a disappointment, though. This offense never really got going. End of the year, number 58. That was a far cry from the top 20 preseason projection that I had for this unit. The Tigers finished number 111 in both my season rating movement and wins relative to expected metrics. To make matters worse, this was the worst Clemson team since 2011 per my power ratings. Not great for Clemson. They're still favored in this game, though, as you said, despite all of that. And their opponent here, Kentucky, they had an interesting season in their own right. The Wildcats were number 26 in my power ratings in the preseason, Brett, with a regular season win total projection of 6.9. After a 5-0 start, you'd think those projections would have improved significantly, but the model wasn't impressed with Kentucky's performances against subpar competition, dropping their rating nearly a touchdown and ranking them number 36 nationally. The Wildcats went 2-5 the rest of the way, but their power rating actually improved slightly during that time, and Kentucky finished number 34 in my power rating rankings. Like Clemson, Kentucky capped off their season with a win on the road against their rival, effectively ending any marginal chance Louisville had. Now it's laughable, seeing as Florida State went all the way and got left out. But at the time, we thought they had a marginal chance of reaching the CFP. My numbers are pretty close to Vegas in this one. At least they were at the time of recording or the time I made some notes, which again was probably 12 hours ago. I have Clemson -6.5 in this one. If both teams are playing at full strength, obviously they are not.
It sounds like the numbers have had a pretty good grasp on Kentucky this year. I know you said that they fluctuated a touchdown, but 6.9 win total projection, right on the money with that one. And then, for starting at 26 and ending at 34, not bad, especially with that, despite that 5-0 start. I just don't see Kentucky's inefficient passing offense and their slow pace, too many 3-and-outs, like I said. But, if they get left behind, how do they catch back up? Is there an option where if they go down 2 scores, that, yeah, they can fight their way back into it. They haven't really shown that this year. And I know that they just dropped 38 on Louisville. Like you said, the end of the season, great game from them. Louisville was in kind of coast mode. We had talked about that game, that they locked up their ACC championship spot. And to be honest, I think the building knew that they didn't really have a great shot at the playoff. Even if they would have won both of those games, but maybe that's the route to victory, turning over the ball. And Klubnik will turn over the ball. Like that's for sure. If you look at Louisville, they had 3 turnovers, and Klubnik will turn the football over because, boy, the ratings system, the analysis on him, the projection on him is missed by just a little bit because he has not shown the ability to be that high 5-star that he was. But the bottom line is, I think Clemson is just more talented, and Kentucky hasn't really contended with the better, more talented teams when they've been at their A game this year. So this is Clemson with the points for me.